I mean, yeah, this is the strongest cocktail I've ever had. It's pure gin.
Just keep rolling.
As long as there's not... Oh, okay.
Welcome to London, I guess. No, I'm sorry. This is a professional interview.
Hello. Okay. What happened? What's the interview about?
Marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
I love London. I love London. I love how unhinged it is.
Please make sure this does not get cut. That was great.
I know.
Should have asked their opinion on PPC.
All right. Hi guys, I can't do this. We're just gonna dive into the questions.
Okay.
So you've worked across industries.
Yes.
You've worked in, I need to see that, Just Eat, Birdie, health.
Yes. Events.
Yes.
Um,
What do you think is the thread that ties it all together?
it's really interesting. I think I've stayed in health tech because of the mission.
All right.
So what I really like is the ability to affect change. So once I left the print company that I was working for because I wanted something more,
Yeah.
I found that health was a place that really I could create things that would actually affect people's lives.
That's nice.
I think previous to that, you know, when I was at Just Eat and printed.com, I was still finding my feet.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I experimented,
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
which was really good.
I think if you're not gonna do that in the start of your career, then when are you gonna do it?
Well, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could still do it now. You know, there's no
Yeah.
time limit to experiment.
And you did that by joining the startup.
I did, yes.
So what motivated that decision?
It was a difficult decision to make. And I think one of the hardest job decisions I've ever had to make. Historically, if you look at my CV, I move around a lot. I go somewhere, I build, and then I leave, right? As soon as it starts working,
Yeah.
I had this ongoing joke that whenever I felt I could take a holiday, they would expect my resignation soon after. Because I was like, I'm done here.
Why?
Because I got to the point where what I love to do is build. I like to build systems, fix things, grow, start from scratch. And then the minute that I can go on holiday for 2 weeks and know that nothing is going to break, pretty soon after my resignation will follow.
I love that.
Which, you know, it's a tactic.
It's
certainly.
unhinged.
Yeah, exactly. But what that meant was, you know, I got offered this job at Health, which was amazing on paper.
Yeah.
My first head of marketing role, you know, I just turned 30. I was like building from scratch, you know, completely building from scratch and building a team, launching an event. I was traveling all over the world. And then I moved from the head of marketing role into digital, and I was like, this is good, this is comfortable. I was bored.
Yeah, I get that. This is the thing with the creative. It's the thing with me too. It's the thing with the creative industry.
Yeah.
But then if you get stuck into that jargon for a really long time, then all of your creative juices just stop flowing. So I think leave it before it kind of stops that creativity.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, you know, there's a lot to be said in different camps. I've met people that have stayed at companies for 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years, and they're incredible too.
Yeah.
In a different way. They're the kind of people, you know, the rock stars, if you will, the ones that will get stuff done.
Yeah.
They'll do it exceptionally well, and they know the ins and outs of the company.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need someone to show up, mess everything up, rebuild it, and then leave.
Yeah.
I think there's a place for both.
There is. I think so. I think I'd like to call that situationship. So, what is that one thing that you think? For example, if I'm starting my career in marketing, do you think I should switch companies sooner, or do you think I should stay at one company?
Really good question. And I'll say something that maybe is a little bit controversial.
That's fine. We're here for controversy.
I honestly don't think your job title means anything.
Okay.
So what I mean by this is, you could be a copywriter in a company for 10 years
Yeah.
and do far more than someone who's left that job, become a content manager, become a head of content, done all of these things. It really doesn't matter
Yeah.
as long as you're learning. And I think that's something that I wish I knew sooner. I was constantly striving for the next thing. You know, when I was done, I felt like rather than ask for more or rather than find a new avenue to learn, I just moved on. That worked well, but is it the right move? I don't know. It gave me a lot of exposure. It helped me to understand a lot of businesses. But there are times when I look back and I go, well, if I had assessed, I suppose, if I'd assessed my skills in a company and gone, okay, I'm lacking in these areas, I could have grown those areas safely in a place where I was already employed, where I was already, you know, doing
Yeah.
super well
Yeah.
before moving on, or even not moving on at all, right? Striving for that next level. So I think it ultimately depends on what can you get from this job. And again, this is another thing that I think people fail to realize in the beginning. A job has to serve you as much as you have to serve it.
Yeah.
If it's not serving you anymore, if you're not learning, if you're not growing, if you can't see somewhere to go, that's when you leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I agree with you 100%. I think so. I'm constantly juggling between the whole two things. But yeah, I'll discuss that with you later on. So, Emma, before the career, did you do a degree?
I did, yes. I did a degree in advertising.
Oh, that's nice. From where?
A very small university called Edge Hill
I have heard about it. Yeah, I've heard about it.
on the outskirts of Liverpool. It was not a very big deal when I went there. There was hardly anyone there, a little farming community.
Yeah.
I think it won University of the Year quite recently, which is nice. But yeah, I did it there. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was the only university I didn't see in person,
Yeah.
but there was something about it. That's where I ended up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Would you go, if you go back to that era, right? Would
Mm.
you start again with like doing a bachelor's or a master's, or would you go towards the apprentice route?
Both have merit.
Yeah.
I think we're still not in a position where hiring managers are ready to take a leap of faith with people that haven't got a degree.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this right now in my own hiring.
Okay.
So I am probably going to hire someone who has no formal marketing experience. She set up her own podcast, she's amazing, and she's done it all herself, but she doesn't have no degree, you know, no relative A levels, nothing like that. But I see through that. I can see that that isn't needed because she has an exceptional skill set.
Yeah.
However, as we move towards this more kind of world of AI, where, you know, a bot will screen your CV, if you don't have a degree, if you don't have relevant experience, you're not going to get past it. So I think you're always going to have this struggle. I personally don't think my degree was needed.
I get that.
And I think I could have done it without my degree, but I would have had to have a huge network.
Yeah, I think networking is really important.
I agree.
This is something that I've learned after doing my master's, but I think networking is really important.
I agree 100%. But I think it can be difficult to know how to network when you're first coming out of university, right? And that's when you need it the most.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when you're first coming out of, I guess, high school, if you're not going to.
Yeah. Yeah, but then we were just discussing the platform, LinkedIn.
Yes.
So that's one way.
Absolutely. I think there is multiple ways to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really don't think a degree is needed.
Yeah.
But I do think what it can help with is opening the door.
Yeah. So, for example, if somebody has a master's or a bachelor's, and if somebody has went through the apprentice role, what do you think the directors would prefer?
Interesting question. I guess it really depends on the director.
Yeah.
I have met people who have asked me, you know, where did you go to school? And I'm like, does that matter? I have all this experience. Why do you want to know that? I always think though, real life experience is stronger than any exam or piece of paper. I would much rather see someone on my team who has been doing an apprenticeship for 2 years, or perhaps, you know, they have their own personal brand, they have their own podcast, they're doing their own thing, because that is real and you have to move with those challenges. When I think back to my own degree and I think of the mock projects that we would create, I mean, yes, I worked very, very hard on them, but there was never a curveball. There was never a, oh, we've cut the budget, so you have to reformat. There was never a, you know, let's try this platform, let's do this thing. Oh, the CEO's changed his mind. You don't deal with that when you're doing a degree. It's very theoretical. So there's merits in both, but I think if someone's done it, that to me is a selling point.
Yeah. So you started as a copywriter,
Yes.
and now you're the head of marketing.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. What moment was it that you said that, okay, I'm built for this?
I don't think there was ever a moment, and I think even to this day, I don't believe I can do this.
Really?
I think imposter syndrome is so high.
Yeah, I get that.
But what I
Honestly.
kept realizing in these jobs was I didn't want to be the person that was managing me. I kept having terrible managers, and I kept thinking to myself, I could be better than that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be. So I was almost climbing because I just wanted to prove them wrong. And it's been, you know, a 10-year journey to get where I am today.
Yeah.
But in that process, I think I've learned that there is nothing that I can't do today. But also, whilst you have to gain that experience, I could have done those things 10 years ago. I just
Yeah.
didn't have the confidence.
Yeah. Do you think imposter syndrome came into play then?
100%. I think imposter syndrome is something I struggle with every single day of my life. Every single day. You see it from, I know that I am incredibly capable,
You are.
but there's a moment, you know, before you stand up and you give a presentation, or even before you turn around in your seat to ask a question to someone who is not even necessarily more senior than you, but maybe they're a man.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, you perceive that they are more important than you.
I get that.
And you check yourself and you kind of go, do I have the authority to say this?
Yeah, I get that. I think that's super real.
It's
though.
really hard.
It is really hard, honestly. I think everybody struggles with imposter syndrome, especially when it's like you're the mostly when it's like you're the youngest on a few tables or meetings, and then you're like, this is something that we discussed in the podcast before this. Was that Jack was telling me that I was the youngest in a lot of rooms, and who am I to decide like this would not work or this would work when the most senior people are sitting right beside
Yes.
me, and that's when the imposter syndrome kicks in. So it's on every level.
I agree. Completely agree.
Yeah, it really shakes the core of you, I think.
And what I really do think about imposter syndrome is that we all have it, but if you manage well, so if you're a good manager, you can help your reports
Yeah.
to almost shake it off. And when I look at my own reporting line journey, I made huge mistakes in the beginning, but I look at my most recent report and how incredibly she's done and how she came to me and what she was like after a year and a half, right? You know, it's that consistent reinforcement of, I want you to speak in the meeting. You have a place. You are valued. It doesn't matter
love
if
that.
nobody agrees.
I love that.
Speak.
I love that. And I think as like millennials or Gen Z are going up on the ladder, it's gonna get a little bit more easier.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. Because we've all been through burnout, we've all been through imposter syndrome, we've all started from scratch and then built it up, I guess.
Absolutely. I think I do hope there is a new wave of, I think it's empathy in the workplace is what we need.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Something that you learned in the early years of marketing or into the career that still shapes your decisions to this date.
The most important thing, I think, is something I learned in my first year of university that is still relevant today.
Yeah.
And that I don't think will ever change. And that is that you are creating for a person. And one of the earliest exercises we did was thinking about your audience, right? And that is one of the first things you do. And when we think about even going back to when we wrote essays for English literature when we were 14, what were we writing them for? We were writing them to dissect how an audience understands a piece of text, right?
Yeah.
And that lesson, I think, is one that is the most relevant, the most important, and will never go away.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what platform someone's on. It doesn't matter, who they are in terms of what demographic they are. You have to talk to them on their level in a way that they understand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where or when or how.
Yeah.
And that lesson, I think, is the most important thing I've ever learned.
Yeah, I think it's really important in marketing too, because you could understand them as a consumer behavior and their perspective.
Absolutely.
And I think as a marketer, you should learn to talk to different generations, no matter what generation that is.
I agree 100%.
So yeah, consumer psychology really comes into play.
100%. I think you're right with the generations as well. It's a challenge I have now. People say, oh, yes, but we have to speak to Gen Z differently, or we have to speak to millennials or baby boomers differently. And I'm like, I see what you're saying, but it's not about speaking to them differently. It's about speaking to them in a way that they want to listen to you.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not changing your tone of voice. It's not even changing a video structure.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Because with Gen Z or millennials, we're so cluttered with a lot of different content that if somebody really speaks to us,
exactly,
it gets to us.
Absolutely.
And that's what you need with your marketing. I think so. All right, Emma, what is the biggest plot twist of your life?
Oh. That is a hard one. Gosh. I think the biggest plot twist of my life is the fact that we are still here in London when I was supposed to leave. I was determined to leave. I was going to move to Scotland. I was done here. I hated London.
What made you stay? What made you stay?
I fell in love. Which is so cliche, right? It's so cliche.
I love that.
But I did. I had this career mapped out. I was going to be a consultant. I was going to move to somewhere very remote and work from behind my computer with hundreds of dogs, maybe a few goats. Get out of here. And then he came along and here we are in Primrose Hill.
I love that. So you've worked with clients? Like you've worked with clients on freelance, have you?
I did in the early days.
Yeah.
And that was always my plan, to freelance. I wanted to be a freelancer because I wanted the flexibility of that. But what I really struggled with was a solid income, and I don't have any other support apart from myself. So I found it very difficult to build that on my own. But I did freelance in the early days, and then I moved into basically working in-house. I went from agency to freelancing to in-house, and that's kind of where I've been since then.
Yeah, that's really nice. So when you were doing freelance, what was one of the biggest things that happened, like that nobody talks about?
Freelancing is, I think it's this feast or famine situation with freelance.
Yeah.
But also, you can have incredible weeks, incredible months, incredible years, but only if your clients are incredible to you.
Yeah.
I think one thing I wish I knew before was, as a freelancer, not only do you chase the work, you also end up chasing the payment. You chase the follow-up. You chase the contract. You're a salesperson, a marketer, doing your job. Like all of these things together, you are a one-man business, a one-woman business, having to pull all those levers. And I don't think I realized that. I think I expected to go away, write a blog post, edit an email, the money would come in.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
No. I've heard a lot of freelancers struggle with that.
It's really, really difficult. But I just wish, I think I'd followed all these freelancers on Instagram, on social media, and was like, I want that life.
Yeah.
I want to go and be canoeing and kayaking in Scotland on my lunch break. Didn't work like that. It did not work like that. It was so hard.
All right. One piece of advice that you were given but was actually BS.
Whew. Difficult question. Okay. I have received some terrible advice in my career. Absolutely terrible. Think the biggest piece of bullshit advice I've ever received is that in order to be a good manager,
Yeah.
you have to be feared.
No. Ew.
I am certainly not the kind of person that leads with fear, but I've had many managers who have told me, you're too soft on your reports.
Yeah.
You're not pushing them enough. They're not working hard enough under you. You're not leading with the right intention. And I think that that is BS.
Do you think that was a generational gap thing?
I would love to say it is, but no, because I've had that advice from 2 managers who are barely older than me.
Oh no. That's awful. That's awful. Oh no.
Yeah. So, and I think that comes from the fact that people are thrust into leadership positions without having the support to actually do it. So they end up squashed from above because they have targets. So then they squash you next, and they expect you to then squash your report, right? So you're all pushing to deliver. But if you take a step back and you don't push as hard, if you give people space to think differently, think creatively, they're going to have a much better output and you're going to reach that target faster.
Yeah.
But it's difficult because it requires the leaders to have an iron will against their leaders, right? And to protect.
Yeah.
And that's super hard. And I don't think that's generational. I think it's learned.
Interesting. That is interesting. I did not think that. Honestly. That is interesting, Emma. Because if you think about it, every millennial, Gen Z, has been through it.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that if you would go to that managerial position, you'd not do that to your subordinates.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But then you saying that the people of your age or similar believe in that is just it's just eye-opening to me, for example.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think, I would never do it.
Yeah.
But there have been moments in my own career when, you're under a deadline, you have to deliver something, and you end up pushing that frustration down the chain.
Yeah.
It's almost inevitable. I am quite lucky that I, have the, I suppose just the ability to check myself and say to my reports afterwards, I'm so sorry, or even before I've done it, to think about it. But I think sometimes we move so fast, it's difficult to. And I think it does require a person, it's on you to stop that from happening as a manager. And some people don't want that responsibility, right? They don't care because they're moving up.
Yeah. All right. What do you think about the marketing industry? Something that is totally misunderstood by people, founders, different people in other industries. What do you think is something super misunderstood by us?
Interesting question.
I'm gonna pour myself one.
No, please do. Something misunderstood. I think that in marketing, what is misunderstood, there's often a push to do as many things as possible.
Yeah.
There's a new platform, there's a new tool, AI, LLMs, let's jump on it, let's do this thing because everyone's on it.
Yeah.
And really, at its core, as we've spoken about, marketing is about a person, right? And if your person isn't there, why are you doing it? And I think we can be led by trends and hype, and I suppose FOMO as well, we must be doing this thing because they're doing it and it works really well. You can have the same two businesses selling to the same two sets of customers and have completely different marketing strategies, and both of them will work equally well.
All right. Something that you've learned along the way that nobody talks about, that is the truth about the industry and nobody says it.
Ooh.
Something unhinged, Emma. Go on.
Okay. So I think this is a kind of take for a moment right now.
Yeah.
But what nobody is talking about is the fact that junior roles do not exist anymore.
Really? Why do
And
you
by
think
that,
so?
I mean the influx of AI
Oh yeah.
has taken away the job that I entered with.
Or I entered with.
There is no need for that job anymore, right?
I get that.
You go through, one scroll of LinkedIn and everybody is looking for 3 years experience, minimum of 2 years experience. They want everything and they want it now, but how is someone supposed to get there when there isn't a job that is fitting them?
Yeah.
And nobody is talking about that.
That's brutal though, because I entered, when I came to the UK, I entered through being an executive.
Yes.
Or an executive position, or did internship with
Mhm.
menial tasks.
Yes.
And then moved on to this role. But then, yeah, it's weird though, because then from a senior marketer, it would be expected to do a lot more work
Yes.
than normal. So every aspect of marketing should then be given to the senior marketer, whereas it would get a lot for them too.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I think, one thing that's another thing that no one's really talking about is that yes, with AI becomes efficient. With AI comes efficiency,
Mhm.
but also a huge expectation
Yeah,
on those who are running those systems.
yeah,
As a head of marketing now, not only do I have to look after my people and set my strategy, I need to keep one eye on what's coming so that we are being more efficient. I need to know how to use these tools so I can help them use these tools.
yeah. Have you tried LLM agents, or have you tried? What do you think about AI? Let's start there.
I think AI is incredibly useful.
Yeah,
I think it is, in my day to day, it has helped me immensely.
same.
I use it for almost everything. I have AI automated inboxes, AI automated messaging. I use it for brainstorming. I use it for almost every single part of my day.
Yeah,
But where I struggle, and I think this is probably born of this now LinkedIn era, nobody has a voice anymore.
see, yeah,
And it is so difficult. And this is one thing that, again, just going back to that conversation about junior roles, if we automate out those junior roles, we're automating out the voice before it can even get started. So we're going to end up in this situation where everybody sounds the same, everything looks the same.
because half of my LinkedIn sounds the same.
Yeah, right? I could probably tell you a fake LinkedIn post with the right structure and you would know it's an AI generated one just because of the way I'm saying it.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons I love posting memes.
Yes, that's a really great.
But then, where is your personality on LinkedIn then? You're missing that aspect of things where personality comes to play, or where brands have a certain personality. For example, Ryanair or Duolingo.
Yes.
They've got certain personality types, right? If everybody starts using the same chatbot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's the problem is anybody can be an expert in anything.
Yeah.
And by that I mean I can go to ChatGPT on my way home and say, hey ChatGPT, write me a LinkedIn post about this podcast that I just did and what I've learned from it. I do not need to tell it what I've learned.
Yeah.
I do not need to tell it anything, and it will shoot out this thing that sounds good, sounds authoritative, it sounds like I learned something. I did none of that.
Yeah.
And then we end up with people and brands churning out this kind of generic, formulaic content. And the more we rely on it, I mean, I'm kind of for it because great, all those brands, let them carry on. Because when you have a personal voice, you're going to be through it. But it's a danger, right? Especially when you have a founder with this very tiny budget going, we don't need marketing, we'll use AI.
Yeah, see, that is the problem, because I think AI is like, somebody just recently told me that it's not limited to ChatGPT. You should explore different
Yes.
avenues, and I've looked at it, and it's really good, really good.
Mm,
But then that's to help you out. You know,
yes.
you'd still have to give a relevant prompt
Yeah.
for it to generate a relevant, let's say, a post.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you're not going to put the personality of the brand into practice, or write a piece and then put it into AI to just look at the grammar or the mistakes, you're missing the whole point, I think.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't think a lot of people are thinking like that. I think they're thinking this is a fast way to success.
Yeah.
And it's a huge risk. It is huge.
You know that Pitbull concert where everybody wears the same?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just going to be like that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just going to be like that. And I see that on LinkedIn. I see it with like the frameworks and everything. God, Emma. All right. How do you deal with pressure?
Wow.
I love that question. Super loaded.
Yeah. Not well.
Good. Thank you. But then how do you stop that from leading towards burnout?
I would love to tell you that I cycle 40 miles, I have a cold plunge in the pool, and I like naked swimming. None of that is true. My life goes in, peaks and troughs. I have days and weeks and months where I'm super on top of things. I have everything together. I feel in control. I'm cycling. I'm eating well.
Yeah.
Life is great. I have other months where going to work feels like plucking my armpit hairs out.
I get that.
Where, I don't want to eat anything unless it's battered. And that can happen for months, right? And I think it's not pressure that does that. It's my response to that pressure.
Yeah.
And seeing what goes first. And I think one thing that my husband has helped me to understand is that it's a little bit like a plant, right? If you take something away or put something on it, it's going to do something else to compensate.
Yeah.
And I don't think we give ourselves that grace to kind of go, okay, this is really hard right now. I have, maybe it's a deadline, maybe it's stress, maybe we have a big event, or there's something happening.
Yeah.
If you put that pressure on yourself, something's gonna die, or it's gonna shoot out, or it's gonna respond differently. And I think one thing I'm doing to deal with that is just be aware of it.
Yeah.
And really understand when that happens, what are my responses. So what is my trigger and what is my response?
Yeah.
And trying to not necessarily even it out, but get it to a point where it's more of an undulation rather than a mountain.
That's a really good way of looking at that, honestly. Yeah.
It's hard. It is difficult.
Yeah. Okay. What is one thing that connects it all together when you look at, let's say, 17-year-old Emma?
All the way to now. Wow, that's
a loaded question.
Yeah, one thing that connects it all together. It's interesting. My boss asked me to do this exercise the other day.
Yeah.
What is your why?
What is your why?
Like, why do you do this?
Yeah,
and I was like, ChatGPT. Give me an empathetic answer that explains my why, something quite nice. I like writing stories. I like connecting with people.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah.
The one thing I think that ties it all together is I didn't have a choice in terms of I had to do something. I had to get a job that was a career that made money because I had my brother to support. I chose marketing because I saw a way to advance very, very quickly. And I knew that it was a job that had stepping stones.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, if you look at other jobs, say nursing,
Yeah.
you have stepping stones, but it's to do with years worked, or you have to go and do a course and you learn and you kind of progress. It's slow.
Yeah.
There's progression, but it's slow. Marketing isn't like that.
No.
Marketing is if you know this one thing, you can go and learn 3 more and progress even quicker.
Yeah.
It's almost like, how quickly can you pick up the stone behind you and put it in front of you? It's all in your control.
Yeah.
And that thread, I think, has gone through my life, because the thread is, it is literally, how quickly can I build this road in front of me to get where I want to be?
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for 15 years now.
Yeah. That's really nice. All right. Oh God, I'm gonna miss some questions. Okay, we're gonna do the sense. No, one more question, and then we're gonna do the final chapter.
Okay.
So, what's one thing that is extremely non-negotiable to you?
Ooh.
Could be personal, could be professional.
Non-negotiable. I'll give you both. So personally, non-negotiable to me is green space. I need to be in nature to feel, I think, to compensate for the job I do. I mean, this is lovely, but I mean proper
I
green
get
space.
that.
Actual, hills, water. I
Yeah.
like to see an end to civilization.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, when we lived in London, I would look out my window and just see like roofs or buildings.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my goodness, this is basically an ant farm. I need a break from that personally, and that's a non-negotiable. And that is something where, if I've been in the city 5 days, I'm not coming in on Monday because I need I need some space.
Yeah, I get that.
To be away from people, to be in my own spot. Professionally, non-negotiables. It's difficult because once you're in a job, you're like, oh, I would never, I don't know, not have a certain amount of holidays or work for an asshole. You don't know that when you first start.
No, you don't.
So I think a non-negotiable for me is, it's probably going to be a mission.
Yeah.
Does what I'm doing serve a purpose?
Yeah, I think which is one of the reasons that you switched jobs.
Yes.
Because that whenever that went missing.
Next. Yeah, exactly.
If this episode or this conversation you'd have to dedicate to somebody, past, present, real or imagined, whoever, who would you do it to?
Ooh. I would dedicate it to my granddad.
Oh,
He's
that's
not here
lovely.
anymore, but he always told me, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And not in a way, like, he never pushed me to be more, but I talked to him about my work and he'd literally be like, you can do whatever you want. Like, almost disbelief. Why are you questioning yourself? You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to go and do a podcast in Primrose Hill while people wee behind you? You can do that. You can do that if you want.
I love that.
And he made me realize,
Okay, what
me
would
feeling
this version of Emma say to the 20-year-old version of you?
she would say, you're on the right path. Keep going. Please learn how to use Google Analytics because I still don't know. So that is what she would say. No, but she would tell me that, you are going where you need to be. Don't worry about everybody else. Don't get taken under by pressure or feeling like you're too slow
Yeah.
or feeling like you need to be somewhere to be in line with everybody else.
Yeah.
You don't need to be in line. You never will be in line. So stand on your own.
Yeah. Do you have problems creating boundaries with people?
Do you know what? I would say no. I think I believe very deeply in, for example, my team.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've had to learn. In order for them to grow, you have to have a boundary.
Yeah.
I'd say I go the other way. Normally my boundaries are too high.
Yeah.
I don't let people in.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I've had the most wonderful episode with you. Honestly.
Well, that's good, right?
And it's been really easy for me.
Mm.
All right, last question, mic flip question.
Okay.
This is your podcast. Not really, but for a while. So you can ask me one question.
Okay. Just one.
Yeah. You want to ask more? That's all right.
Okay. Imagine
Okay.
a giant sinkhole opens up here. Huge, right? and it's calling you. What is at the end of it? Where are you going? You can control this with your mind. Where are you going when you jump in?
I think I'm going back to Pakistan to meet my cats. I really must know.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
That works. I mean, that works super well. Maybe you could like call them out the hole, and we
Yeah.
could have a little.
Yeah, that'd be
moment with
nice.
them.
They're lovely.
Okay, wait. Another question.
Okay.
If you were writing a book on your life, what would you call this chapter?
Ooh. Ooh, that's interesting.
I like that. Okay, yeah, I'll take that one.